a little subfolder in there, and these are all shared. You can see the shared icon on the folder. What that means is it's going to be shared so that you will have viewing and edit access to all of your students' work. So as they create work within an assignment, you'll be able to edit it or view it and see it and watch the progress as your students are going along. So that's really super helpful. Now, let's talk about the tab called the stream. So once you click on a class in your dashboard, you'll see these 3 tabs along the top, and we have the stream tab, right? In the stream, when you first load that, you're going to see kind of this little top banner for your class. And here, you know, you can select a theme or you can upload a photo and change your banner to a certain look that you might like. But what a lot of people don't realize is that along with this on your banner, you have the class code right here, and you have a little down arrow, which is going to give you basic information about your course. So if I were to click on the class code, it's going to display the code nice and big and bold up in front if I'm projecting this onto a projector for my students to be able to put in the code and join my class. Many times teachers tend to go somewhere else to try to find that code, but the truth is it's right here on the banner. Also, if I click on that down arrow, what I'm going to see is the information for the class. Now, this is just the basic information you put in when you create a class. So when you first create a class, it asks you, what subject is this for? What room does this take place? And then it gives you a place to add a description. Sometimes teachers just leave that blank. They don't put anything there. But I tend to fill it in because I think it's important, especially for sharing this with other co-teachers, or we're doing something beyond even our school. We want to make sure that we know what this is, what this course is all about. So I think it's a good idea to, know that that information's there and make it super helpful. All right, let's move on. Upcoming, you guys, this is also on the stream. So here's the stream for another one of my classes. I have my banner up here. I've got my code. I've got all this information, but look at right here. I've got upcoming. This is something we definitely want to show our students. We want our students to know that one of the quickest ways to find out what's happening in a course, what's coming up or what's due or what assignments are being assigned, is to click on that upcoming. Here is a student view of upcoming in the stream. What students see is a filter along the left where they can actually filter upcoming by things that have just been assigned, by things that have been returned to them with a grade, or, this is really good, things that are missing. And what I find is students often don't even pay attention to this. They don't know the to-do list is there. They don't know that they can filter. As soon as I show this to students, they feel so much more in control of their Google Classroom and of being on top of what has to get done for their classes. This is really helpful, you guys. Also, I should mention, you can filter this to-do list by class. Like right now, this student is filtered by one class. Let me show you the upcoming teacher view. That'll make sense here. So if a teacher clicks on upcoming, here's what you'll see. First of all, you can filter by class. So I could click this down menu right here, and I could click just one of my classes that I want to view. Right now, I'm in an all-class view, and do you see the colored bars here along the left? Those colored bars represent the different classes. Every class gets automatically assigned a color when it's created. So this is one class. This light teal is another class. This blue is another class. And as a teacher, I can see what has to be reviewed and what already has been reviewed. Think of that as what has been looked at or graded and what has been not seen yet. To review is something I have not seen or graded. Reviewed has been seen or graded. And you can click right on these. These are just hyperlinks. So I could click right here and see the 4 that have turned in, or I could click right here and see the 10 that have been assigned and not yet reviewed. It's pretty awesome, actually, that upcoming teacher view. It's like a lifesaver for me, especially if I have quite a few assignments assigned in one week. Now, I want to point this out because a lot of people do not see this because as teachers, we don't always have access to the student view. But I want to show on the dashboard, underneath each of the icons for each of the classes students are enrolled in, they have an additional icon. Besides the Google folder to go to Google Drive, they have an icon that looks like this. And if you hover over that icon, it will say, open your work for that class. This provides them with that same to-do list of things that have to be done and things that are maybe missing or haven't been turned in yet. So show this to your students. Have them open their dashboard, point out this little icon, and explain to them that's a quick way to find out what's due in your class. or what's been assigned or what's missing. All right, now we're still in the stream tab. And one thing I want to make sure that all teachers who are using Google Classroom understand is that when you're in the stream, the only thing you really do there is create announcements. That's all that you create there. That's the only content. However, the stream is going to show way more than announcements. It's going to show everything. Everything you do in your class goes on your stream, which makes it a little bit sometimes confusing, especially for students when they go to the stream. This is a screen capture of my stream right here, and this is what it can look like. And for students, this can be a little bit overwhelming or cumbersome because it just is a jumble of everything. If you point out to students the little icons on the stream, that will help them considerably to understand what's what. So I always tell them, you know, the little clipboard, when you see that, that's an assignment or a quiz question that's been assigned to you. Okay, and then I explain the question mark is when we have a discussion question. So I explain, you know, assignments are something you have to turn in. Quiz assignments are like a Google form quiz you need to take. Questions are like either a survey or a class discussion that we're participating in. And then the bookmark icon are materials that are just being shared with you to be able to access. So when you look at the stream, it becomes a lot easier for kids to just look for the icons and say, oh, I'm looking for that one particular resource, and I know that it's going to be a bookmark. Here's another tip is, because when you create an announcement, it does not have any kind of a little icon assigned to it. What I've been showing teachers that I do for students is that I use an emoji. Anytime I post an announcement, I get the bell emoji, and I'm just going to go back here and show you one more time. See how this right here, this is an announcement, and see the bell? And then you go up a little further, here's something with a bell. That tells my students that I am announcing something to them. And that I found has been really helpful. I just use the site emojipedia.org. Have you guys used that site before? Have you ever been on there? It's so easy. Let me just demo and show you how quick and easy it is to get this. All I did was I went up to the search and I put in the word bell. You can search for anything. You can also filter your search right here through any of these. But then once I got the bell, I said, okay, here's the bell I want. All I did was hit this copy, and it copied that emoji for me, so that when I was in Google Classroom here and I was getting ready to make this, I just had to hit paste. And then as soon as I pasted it, it made the bell. So it's really easy, and I think it's a really good tip to help people navigate through the stream a little easier, because it can become just this kind of jumbled mess. Here's another tip. We're still in the stream, right? Now, in the stream, if you do want to take something and bring it to the very top so your students have easy access to it, so they don't have to go through the whole stream to find something, hit the three dots and you can see move to the top. All right. It doesn't stay there. Like if I would add something else, I would add an assignment, add a question, it would go on top, and I'd have to keep moving it to the top. It's not like pinning it. It's more like just moving it up there to sit up there and be ready for your kids. But I use that all the time. There's also a copy link. You guys, this is so helpful. Copy link actually copies the URL to whatever you want in your stream. So in this case, this is a resource material that I'm sharing. If I copy the link, I can then paste that link in a new announcement. I can paste that link in an email. I can paste that link on a document or whatever I'm sharing with my kids, and they'll click it and be taken right to that particular thing in my Google Classroom. So that copy link, it has become a godsend for me. I use it all the time now that I know it's there. All right, we're moving on to a different tab. This is the classwork tab, where you have all of your assignments that you create. In classwork, the number one thing I'm showing here is using topics, because topics are what make classwork more organized. And you can click on the topics like you see me doing here on the left, and it'll take you right to that topic. If you click on all topic, it gives you like a condensed view of each topic. So definitely want to create topics and keep things really organized that way. Here's just some tips that other teachers have shared with me. In the classwork tab, you can number your topics, which if you're teaching the littles, it makes it really easy for them to just say, go to the number 2 topic, and all they have to do is look for that number 2. So that's really helpful. But you know what? Even my high school students appreciate sometimes just having things numbered and orderly. Also, you should know, I have seen teachers that organize their topics rather than by an actual name. They just call them like lesson 1, lesson 4, lesson 3. And then that makes it easy for students also. If you just say, you know what, guys, we're looking for the topic lesson 5. That's where I shared such and such. So thinking about how you actually organize those topics and name them is really important. And that's under, again, that classwork tab. Here's another quick little demo to expand topic view. A lot of teachers don't know this is there. When you first load your topics, it's in a collapsed view. But if you actually click on the topic name, like you're seeing in this little video, and I'll play it again, when you click on the actual name of the topic, it's going to give you an expanded view of that topic and actually show you all the expanded view of who's turned something in and who has not yet turned it in and just added a sign. So teaching your other teachers that you work with, just to be able to click on the topic and get that expanded view is really, really helpful for navigating. Here's another quick navigating couple of tips. With the classwork tab, you can click and drag to rearrange your topics. You can grab the topic and put it on top of the gray bar that appears and put it in any order you want. And you can do that daily. Just rearrange them and bring the ones you want to the top. However, if you want to arrange the actual contents under a topic, that's a little different. This one you cannot click and drag. So in this case, you have to hit the three little dots, and then you have a menu that pops up for move up or move down. Also, hey, you guys notice there's also a copy link here. So when you're in the classwork tab, you can copy the link to anything you have underneath a topic and share that hyperlink out with your students as well. All right, and then under the classwork tab, we have a create button. And you guys know these are the things we can create, right? So you can create an assignment. The quiz assignment is like a Google form for kids to either do a survey or take a quiz. You can create a discussion question or a multiple choice for that one. You can share a material. Reuse post, oh my gosh, that one's wonderful because you can reuse or post a post that you've used in any of your other classes, so you don't have to start from the beginning. And here's where you also can create a topic. So that create button also has these little icons, and they're really helpful to kind of know what each of those icons represent. Now, if you do the create a quiz assignment, here's how it works. It will create a blank Google form quiz right there in Google Classroom for you. You can click on this and go right to the Google form and make the quiz. Notice it does have kind of the restrictions or the things that happen when you use this form of making a Google quiz. So it tells you that it has to be where it limits to one response. It's going to collect email addresses, and it's going to restrict to only users within your domain. So those permissions will be set when you create a quiz assignment. You can set the number of points you want. You can put this under a topic. And right here, do you see where it says grade importing? You can actually have it bring the grades from this blank quiz right into your Google Classroom gradebook, which is amazing. I love it. Now, I do not have access to a Google Classroom gradebook. If I did, it would have shown up as one of my tabs under the stream, classwork, people, and grades. Our district does not use Google Classroom as a gradebook, so I don't have this tab. It's been turned off by our administrator. But if your district allows it, when you go to grades, you'll be able to see all the grades that are in here. And if you did a Google form quiz, a Google quiz assignment, it would show up here and bring the grades right in because it'll be set up as a quiz, which is pretty awesome. The classwork tab also has access, you guys, to a Google Calendar and the class drive folder. Now, I showed you the drive folder earlier. Remember the little drive icon on the icons on our dashboard? The Google Calendar I haven't quite shown you, but my gosh, you need to show your kids this. They need to see this for sure on their classwork page. When you click on the Google Calendar, it opens up a Google Calendar that's already been created for you when you create a Google Classroom class. You do not have to create the calendar. It's created for you. So this little calendar, what it's going to show are different colored assignments that have been put out there or discussion questions. Every class will get its own color. So like here's Google Dashboards, this pink color. This teal is kind of my English Hour 3. So it's categorized by color. And the calendar then will let you actually click on one of these. So if I click on an actual icon, a colored icon in my calendar, it will open it up for me in Google Classroom. So here I am in student view after I click that little calendar. Wow, isn't that great? And this is a student view. The student can go here and see this assignment is missing, and they can go in and add it or create it and then mark it as done and submit it. This is the teacher view after you click on that calendar, Google Calendar. And here the teacher can see, in this case, this was a discussion question that was put in. You see it's questions. And here's some of the students' answers. And what's really cool is I can go in here and assess these right here in this view. So using that assignment check in Calendar is a really easy way to navigate and get right to the assignment and start grading it. We're going to move on to the third tab, the People tab, and kind of cover that for a minute. In the People tab, you will see any teachers at the top that are part of this class and any students at the bottom. As far as teachers go, the top teacher will always be the creator of the course. The teachers underneath will be co-teachers. In this case, there are 2 of us co-teaching with this teacher. And then you'll see all the students who have joined right below here. Okay. One of the things I do like is under that teachers, when you're in the People tab, is that you can go to the 3 dots and easily, quickly email somebody right from Google Classroom. So that's kind of nice. Also, notice, this is kind of a heads up, you can remove another teacher. I cannot remove the creator, so I could not do that to this lovely lady. But this co-teacher, I actually have the ability to remove her as a co-teacher, so be careful of that. And then look at the options under me. So here's me, I'm a co-teacher. My option under the People tab is to be able to leave this class. I do have co-teachers often ask me, oh my gosh, you know what? I think it's, I need to leave this class. How do I get out of here? And I will direct them either to the People tab or to the dashboard and show them how they can click the 3 dots. Now, as far as students go, you have some options under the People tab with all your students that are being listed. First of all, you can email your students. You can click this checkbox and it'll select them all, and you can email your entire class at once. That's kind of nice. You could also individually select students and just choose the few that you want to email. You can remove students this way if you have a student to remove. And did you know you can mute students under the People tab? A lot of people wonder, what am I doing if I mute them? Well, what muting does is it kind of mutes the student as far as if you had a discussion question going. So if you created a question, a discussion question, and a student was kind of being inappropriate, or maybe they just aren't going to be there for a week or 2, so you just want to mute them altogether, you can just click Actions and Mute, and the student doesn't get notified they've been muted or anything like that. They won't know they've been muted. They can still see everything and participate in everything. It's just the responses won't show up for everyone. Also notice you can individually email a student from the 3 dots at the end of the list of their name right here. So that's really helpful. And this came out a while ago, but I find teachers still don't know they have this option to sort by last and first name under the People tab for your students. Just click the A to Z and you can choose which way you want to sort. So that's really helpful too. In the People tab, you can invite guardians for your students if you'd like to. When you click on this Invite Guardian, this menu right here pops up. You can type in their name, and if they are a contact in your Google Contacts, their email address will show up. If they're not in your contacts, you would need to actually put their email address right in here and then invite them. Sometimes people wonder, what does a parent actually see if I invite them? And so I often tell them, you can actually check that out right here. What it is it's called a student summary. I'm going to click on the, I'm going to click on the image and show you this. What they do is they see kind of for a weekly view of what's happening for each of their students' classes. So here's a sample. So this is Google Classroom week summary for Felix. This is just a sample. It's not a real student. And it'll show, here's your student's work. Here's what's missing from last week. And it'll say the due date, what was due, and the actual assignment and what the student was supposed to do. And then it'll show, hey, here's what's coming up and due. Notice these are by class. So this is for U.S. history. This is for marine biology. And it also gives them some class activity from the week. So it shows them kind of assignments and questions for each of the classes. So this would be for U.S. history. This would be for American literature. So as a parent, I just basically see all their classes and what's been assigned and what's due and what's missing. All right. So that's what a parent email student summary is going to look like. Now, I'm going to move on to menus and settings. These are really the nuts and bolts of navigating Google Classroom, you guys. First of all, we already know we have this wonderful dashboard when we first load Google Classroom. That dashboard is what happens when you click the little 3 bars on the left side menu, and that menu opens up and you click on this home button. That will load your dashboard. But did you know you have this mini little dashboard on the left that makes it even easier when you're in Google Classroom to just quickly go to whatever class you need to go to? You don't always have to go to the dashboard to get there. You can just use the little mini dashboard, that is what I call it. Also, students and teachers in that side menu have a to-do list right here. So there's almost like no excuse for your students to say, I didn't know it was due. I didn't know it was coming up. I didn't know I missed it. It's right there. It's a to-do list. I think of this like when I was teaching 5th grade and we filled out a daily planner every day. This is kind of like the student's daily planner, right? Where the students can be kind of taught and trained for you to say, hit the 3 lines, go to to-do. What do we have coming up? What's due? What's missing, right? And the students see a to-do and they see it done as well. So they can also go in here and say, hey, what have I turned in? What's done? And maybe check their grade on it or see if there's feedback from that. So that to-do list on that sidebar menu is very important for us to show our students. Here's the teacher view that you get when you hit the to-do list. You're going to see all your classes, but you can filter and just look at one class. Again, there's that color coding, and you see all the things that have been assigned, who's turned it in, and who has it assigned but not yet turned in. And this is under a to review tab, and you can also look at reviewed, just those things that you've already looked at, reviewed, and graded or scored. Archiving. My gosh, I get a lot of questions about archiving. Do you guys get questions on this or wonder about this? Teachers are often fearful to archive because they think it's like deleting their class, or they think like the class is no longer accessible to them. So it's really important that you help teachers or help yourself to understand that on your dashboard, when you hit the 3 dots, there is an archive option. If you archive a class, it will appear under that side menu. So the side menu toward the bottom shows archive classes. And if I go here and look at my archive classes, did you know you do have the ability to hit the 3 dots of an archive class and restore it and bring it back? So it's not like it's gone forever. You can just archive it for a short period of time and then say, we're done with that for now, but I'll bring it back later when I need it, like in a month or something. But also know, when you archive a class, it does make it so it's not accessible anymore to your students. So be careful of when you archive classes and then think your students still have access to it. They will not. This is one of my favorite tips that I actually show people, and I use this a lot, and that's copy a class. I've done this quite a bit. So when you're on your dashboard, you can click the 3 dots and go to archive, or you can go to leave a class, by the way, if you are a co-teacher. That's another place to leave it. But right here's copy. What copy a class does is it takes the class and makes a carbon copy of it. Here's what it looks like if I'm in my class I made a copy of. All the assignments come into the classwork page as drafts. Nothing is published. It's all a draft. Any assignment, any discussion post that you've made. So in a way, it's kind of nice because you can copy a class and then choose when you want things to start showing up again by changing the drafts to live assignments. So that's really, really helpful. Your students do not come over when you copy a class. It doesn't have any students enrolled whatsoever. No, none of the graded assignments, none of that. It's just copying each of the assignments. Think of it like taking that Google Drive folder and basically like copying that folder over, but leaving all the students' assignments behind, just giving you what you need to start over. Now, under that same side menu, there is a settings gear. Really, really useful to show this to your students and teachers. This is where you can change your notifications that come in. So email notifications for your classes, you could just turn off all email notifications right here for every single class in your classroom. If you toggle this off, you're not going to get any emails whatsoever. I kind of caution teachers about that and tell them, before you do that, look at your options underneath. Because really, if you didn't want to turn off email notifications for all your classes, you could scroll to the bottom down here and just turn off class notifications. So maybe you just want to stop email notifications for that one particular class, not all your classes. Also, you can decide, do you just want to not be notified when somebody comments on your post? Just toggle that off. Or do you want to not be notified when somebody mentions you in a comment? Just toggle that particular one off. So before you toggle everything off, look at your other options and see the other things that you can change. All right, we're going to wrap up, you guys. I'm almost done, but I want to share just a couple things for personalizing the experiences of Google Classroom. One of them I absolutely love for active learning and engagement is the extension called Share to Classroom. I'm going to demo this for you real quick because I think it's worth taking a minute to show it. So the extension you can get from the Chrome Web Store, you guys all know how to go to Chrome Web Store and then just look for an extension. This one's called Share to Classroom. It's sitting right up here in my extensions in my browser. If I had something on the internet, for example, here I am in Dogo News, and perhaps there was an article and I really wanted my students to have access to this article. Maybe I want to make it an assignment where they read it and reflect on it, or maybe I just want to share it as a resource. Maybe I want to make it a discussion question. Whatever I want to do here, I can, while I'm on the site, go to the Google Share to Classroom extension, pick the class I want to share this to, and I have some options here of how I want to get this to my students. One is just push to students. And do you know what that does? That literally pushes this out to every device in my classroom and opens the website for the student. They don't have to do anything. It opens it up as a new tab on their device, which is amazing. I could also go to create question, create assignment, or make an announcement. And when I click this, it lets me create it right here in the extension. I can even add it to a topic, give it a due date, give it some points. I can put this all out there. When my students go to Google Classroom, it'll be there as an assignment. You guys, this is the best thing. I just love that this is here. So that's an awesome, awesome way to navigate and make the experience personalized for your students. I also want to point out, besides that extension, there are tons of sites now that have the Google Classroom Share to Classroom button on them. This is a post from Shake Up Learning from Casey Bell. I love her post because she has taken the time to put 60 plus awesome apps that integrate with Google Classroom. They're all here and hyperlinked. So you can check out these 60 when you have a little spare time, but I will just demo one of these for you so you can see how it works. So I'm loading one of the sites. This is commonlit.org. CommonLit lets you get articles, and you can actually adjust those articles and ask questions on the side. You can adjust them by reading level and other things. But do you see, if I we're on here right now and I wanted to kind of share this with some students, I could go to share this through a Google Classroom icon. Now it's funny because I was on here earlier and I saw the Share to Classroom and now that I'm in a webinar, I'm like, where's that darn little Share to Classroom icon that I had a minute ago, you guys? I don't even see it right now. It's probably something I'm just doing wrong or not seeing in front of me. Let's see here. Add to favorite down. Oh, I don't see it right this second, for heaven's sakes. Well, anyway, look for the little Share to Classroom icon, and then you can just post it right in your classroom. Boy, maybe one of you in the chat could tell me where that is, because I'm not seeing it. I'm not going to worry about it because I'm out of time. You guys go and find it and search it, all right? All right, finally, to personalize the experience, if you make like an announcement or assignment, did you know you don't have to send it to all your students? You can click this down arrow and just select the few students you want. So I find this useful if I have a student who needs a little more practice on something, or if I find a link that would really help a student or two in particular, just give it to the students that need it. That's the differentiation piece that's built in. So I can just select the couple that need it and send it to them. Also, if you have a Google form, did you know that once you create a Google form quiz question, that students, you can leave them a private comment. Like in this case, I asked a student to add some more details and resubmit their answer. Did you know that the student can then click that and reopen the Google form assignment and kind of fix it up and resubmit it? That's really, really helpful. That assessment and feedback part is built into that Google form. And then you can leave comments, either personal comments or use a comment bank when you create an assignment. So like here's an assignment that I created. When I click on it, I can see 6 kids have turned it in. When I click on 6 kids have turned it in, I see the 6 that have turned it in. If I click on one in particular, it will open it up. This is just a little quick, short little demo that I made of this. Here's the comment bank right over here on the right. So traditionally, you can leave, just private comments or just leave a comment to a student and just they will see it and you can post that comment. And when they go to their assignment, they'll see the comment from you. But the other thing you do is you have the ability to highlight some text and add the comment right here on the doc, right? So that's easy enough. And then I can just leave them a comment that's attached to some text. But the newest feature that they added last year at the beginning of the year was this add to bank, where you can actually add comments. And here, notice it says you can add multiple comments just by starting a new line, which is really awesome, right? But what I love about this is then if I'm on another student's paper, I can just go to this answer add to bank and get this comment. I'm just going to click on 3 little dots here and copy it to the clipboard and bring it over. So using that comment bank is super helpful, especially if you are an ELA teacher. That's really, really good to know. All right. So remember all these wonderful things that we covered today for Google Classroom as a learning management system. Navigating Google Classroom is makes it so much better when you know where to go and where things are and how to use it effectively, but especially show your students. Thank you so much, Simple K-12 community. I have enjoyed this webinar so very much. I'm going to go back to that darn site and find that share to classroom link as soon as this is over.
All right, guys, so lots of questions coming in about the CEU, Certificate of Completion. So members, I'm going to show you how to access those in your member profile. And if you